Yo, Crystal here. We're back. Day, I don't even know, day 9? Yeah, it's January the 9th. We are on January the 9th, 2026. And day 9 of flow posting and instigating a new habit every day. My habit today was just posting some of the drafts I had on my Instagram for Crystal Clear Coaching. So posted a little cute pretty quote that I'd made a while ago, and I have about 100 more, so if I do that daily I can get them out there, stop being perfect about it, move past that perfectionism into action. So if there's something that you feel like you could do that's like little like that for yourself, highly recommend. Am I being over ambitious trying to do 31 new habits in 1 month, adding one per day? A little bit, maybe. I'm getting overwhelmed by it to the point when I get overwhelmed, I procrastinate, put things off, and then here we are, not being good at one of our habits, which is going to bed early, because I haven't ticked everything off the list yet. So it is a fine art, which is why part of my habits will be, habit building will actually be, different days will be either subtracting something that I do, like trying to shift a bad habit out of either existence or into a lessened amount. Or sometimes it's actually just really picking something that's super simple, and like as long as I don't overthink it, I can do it pretty quickly. So like just downloading one image a day from my Canva template where I made all these things already, and then uploading it to Instagram takes a matter of minutes. So nice and easy, achievable. But yeah, if I'm adding lots, I just have to be aware that sometimes it feels like a lot, and then I spend my Friday night procrastinating on doing all my habits, and then find myself late at night not having gone to bed because I need to do things like film a video, come say hi to you guys, and share where I'm at with my habits. So yeah, I'm doing this messy, I'm doing it real, and that's okay. What I did for my movement today was fun though. Where I've been working, we've been playing some Michael Jackson songs, and we've all had a good time to Michael Jackson songs before, but I don't know where I land with all the allegations and all that. I just didn't add him to my playlist, to be honest, because I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to watch documentaries and find out for sure or not. And then I got chatting with my colleague the other day, and she's adamant that he didn't do it and that he's been acquitted. And so then I've looked into it a bit more, and I, went onto Spotify, which it's not great that I'm still using Spotify because they're investing in things I don't believe in. But we're still here. We're doing it imperfectly. Anyway, so yeah, I listened to his stuff, and man, he is just so good as an artist. And he got famous so young and did not have a strong crew around him by the sounds of it. And yeah, that doesn't excuse any adult behaviour. But I just don't know that there's enough evidence for us to, like, we probably will never know for sure. But yeah, I don't know. Can we still enjoy his music? Well, I did tonight. I did a dance party for like 10 minutes to a few of the songs, and he's got some really beautiful songs that are about, heal the world, healing the world, and the man in the mirror, like looking at your stuff. So I would love to believe that a person that was such an integral part of creating music like that, whether, I don't know if he was a songwriter on those songs or not, like even just, choosing to do those songs, I'd like to believe they had good intentions for the world. It's not black and white. Another one of his songs. Anyway, I had a very great dance party to that. That was my point. And this kind of comes up, this kind of brings up the point of like cancel culture. And I do think there's times where people need to really be uprooted because they have done absolutely heinous things and they have the right to their own consequences of their own actions. We all do, actually, but when you've done something really heinous, like sometimes you really should not have your reputation stay intact. But there's times that cancel culture comes for people that made mistakes, and then, the thing is, like, if they own up to those mistakes and they prove themselves to be trying to do better, like, honestly, I think they should have another chance. Within reason, depends on what they were cancelled for. But if they just, if it was just a bit of gossip that went on and then, he said that and she said that and then it, blows up someone's career when really it was just their perspectives were different and, no one necessarily was completely in the wrong or both parties were in the wrong to an extent. Sometimes things are blown out of proportion with cancel culture, and I just, I don't want that. I believe everyone is worthy of redemption, but they have to choose to do the healing work to own their own consequences of their own actions, choose integrity. If they don't know what integrity means, learn what integrity means. It's doing what you said you would do when you said you would do it, by the way. But like, there's like assumed integral things to do, and that's like follow the law within reason, because sometimes just because something's in law doesn't mean it's ethical, doesn't mean it's right. Some laws are abysmal. So there's always nuance to everything, but my point is, I believe everyone deserves redemption. They shouldn't be cancelled for, especially when it's like a moment. It happened in the blink of an eye, and maybe they were off that day. They'd made a few bad moves, and it just accumulated, and because it was on the world stage, it just completely derailed. As much as, you could use the Will Smith slap as an example of that, because that happened in moments. And his career will never recover. And it's such a shame because he was so well thought of before that. But then you kind of wonder how much the PR machine was keeping him that way for so long. And then this moment just showed his true character, maybe. Potentially. I don't know. I'm not bringing up celebrities to have a little celebrity gossip. That's honestly, it's actually none of our business what's going on in their lives. If they are doing something on a publicity tour, which the award ceremonies are all involved in, then we all kind of get involved, don't we? And not to say I'm not interested in what's going on, because I have definitely delved into celebrity culture in the past, but I just see them, at this age, I see them also as beautiful, full, flawed human beings, as we all are. And I think so often we can put them on a pedestal and just not think of them as real people. And as someone that has worked in film and TV and, been around big actors, they are just human beings, man. Like, just treat them like another person. Like, and I say this as someone who was a mad fangirl. I still can be sometimes, but I do know they're just another person. And when someone actually sees them as a person and treats them as a person as they would, like, they really appreciate that. I didn't come on here to talk about celebrities, but here I am. There's just something to be said for, it happens in smaller pockets of communities as well. It's not just celebrities. People can be cancelled for something they did, or maybe they were the less popular part of the couple, who then broke up, and then the other partner is more charismatic, so gets to stay in touch with all the friends, and meanwhile they're really isolated, and because this charismatic person has talked everyone into believing that their side of the story is the more true version, then one partner can completely lose their entire circle, more or less. And, like, it is hard when it comes to friendships that you have with a couple that then break up, because you just don't know, like, you want us to believe two sides of the story, but then sometimes it feels obvious as to who was more in the wrong than the other, but then, like, it's all only they can really know for themselves, and then, the two perspectives can be still quite differing. So it's it's coming back to speak into, like, just how different the nuances of our each of our perspectives are. One of my earlier videos, I reposted a clip from today on a short, and I spoke into this. There's just so much that we individually see and do and experience and feel on a day-to-day basis that we can't possibly share with even the closest people with us. And so we might think we know what's better for someone, but will we there? Will we part of their lives that whole time? I don't think so. Like, even if they were literally living with us, going to work with us, everything, like, we don't know the weird look someone gave them that gave them a little red flag that maybe they couldn't trust that person, or, and then when something came up where that became true, they knew to take evasive measures, or, like, whatever needed to happen, like, they knew to not let that person take the reins, for instance. So yeah, it's like and it's just wild how much we're just so ready to try and divide and other the people that are on the wrong side, and I get that, and, like, politically I'm very left-leaning, and I struggle with anyone that aligns with right-wing ideals. It baffles me, because it just seems so obvious to me that people that are kind and caring and want the best for the majority of people, well, really for everyone, but, like, that's what government is for, is to be for the people. At least that was what I perceived to be the intention for government, but it just doesn't seem to be what's followed through with, on the most part. It just seems to be all about corporate greed and stakeholders and just, rich people keeping their money or taking more money off poor people, sitting on their golden thrones, and meanwhile, like, we're being scabs for needing food stamps or something, like, it's just like, that doesn't jive with me. I think we should be prioritizing making sure everyone's fed and housed and looked after, and then we can, build on that, and then, like, make sure that, everyone's connected and finding joy in their life, and prioritizing their mental health and their physical health. Like, we could, like, weirdly, I was on the bus, I think it was this morning, on the bus, and just the bus, like, is this on-demand bus, and it picks up whoever's booked it in random little suburb streets, and I'd never been to the street before, and I just thought, we're picking up these people here in their own little picketed fence property, cordoned off property, shoved into that little space. Everyone's crammed in the cars to the inch to make sure they fit in, and everyone's got their own little slice of the pie, And it's just all like very insular how we live. And I mean, I'm used to it, as most of us are. So like, it's great to have a house of your own, like wonderful. But like, in a way, we kind of all collectively choosing to isolate ourselves, and then we complain about feeling alone. And like, what if we just used all this land and we all had, I mean, it doesn't need to be like a full commune bunk bed situation, but couldn't we have like ways of living more available to those that don't choose that like little piece of the pie lifestyle? And I mean, there are things available, but it's just, it kind of goes onto full hippie territory, which I'm also not against. I'm quite a hippie to a degree. Of just, being in a full commune, and, like, there is such a beauty to that, but there is such a fear of anything that feels like it could become communism, especially in the States. And really, like, what I'm talking about is socialism. It's just allowing everyone to be cared for, ideally. I mean, there's nothing perfect about any kind of form of governance or government, but I mean, we're down here in a human body having a human experience. We're a spiritual being having a human experience, and we live our lives frequently going to jobs that we may or may not love. I think a lot of jobs people don't love. They just go for the money, and then majority of your awakened hours are spent at said job, and then you're basically selling your time, and then also you say you can't do things because you've got work, which is all fair, and like, I feed into the system too, but then you can't do things because you've got work, but then you put off the things that actually light you up and excite you about life, and the things you want to explore. Like, I've just been thinking, I've got a couple of days off now, and I just realised I've been living in the Gold Coast for like 5 months now, getting close to 5.5, and like I actually just realised I've been staying somewhere for 5 weeks that is like within a few kilometres of the film studios and like I think Movie World and such, and I didn't even consider going to check it out. Like, because I'm like, oh, but I should be doing XYZ chores and this, and I've got all this stuff to do, and then I've got work, and then like any day that like I have to myself, I kind of want to work on my stuff and like getting my stuff in order, but then it becomes like this drudgery, and then I'm like, what am I doing that excites me about, like, makes me want to wake up in the morning, and to be fair, working on myself kind of does that to a degree for me, but then I get overwhelmed because I have too many ideas about what I want to do, and then I end up putting it off and filming late at night. Here we go. But yeah, I just realised today I haven't even considered that I could go check out the movie sets, or at least the movie studios, which is quite close. So maybe I'll do that before I leave this area and within a week. So yeah, and maybe that's also how I get in, and my next bout of work is back in film. I don't know, but I love film. Wherever, whenever, it's a good time. I mean, there's some full-on hours and hard shoots that I've done, don't get me wrong, but I just think it's such a beautiful creative collaboration, and just like if you're working on set too, it's like super social, still really full on, but then you earn lots of money quickly and you get fed, so yay for that. Yeah, but anyway, went on this whole rant about, I really didn't know what I was coming on to talk about. But we got political. It was bound to happen at some point. I just want every human to be cared for, to have the ability to connect. I want them to be able to go for their dreams in the world. As long as they're not hurting anyone else with what they're doing with their life, I would like them to be lit up, feeling joyful. Like, is that so crazy? Is that so crazy? Like, cared for, but like looked after so they don't have to be in survival mode. Like, I would like them to find their joy in the way that suits them and their unique wants and needs and perspective. So, call me crazy, but yeah, it's just it's what I hope for. And also sometimes I can get very frustrated, and I can feel, I think this comes back to what I was originally trying to point out. We are really encouraged by, the algorithms for one, but to divide us and divide ourselves and the other people, the other side of things. Like this is us here, and this is them over there, and they're like, ugh, But it's like, they're still people. They still want love, connection. They want to feel seen. They want to find their joy. Like, we're pretty simple. And maybe someone's led them down, many people have led them down a path where they're following someone that is causing a lot of hurt in the world. But that person reached out and wanted to connect with them. Maybe it was in a really toxic or awful way, but maybe they didn't know to recognize that. Like, how can we, in this very increasingly divisive age, choose to still love each other and our differing opinions? Say, no, I'm not going to be divided. I can maybe make a boundary that I don't want to talk to you about politics, or make a boundary that I will talk to you about politics, to make sure that I'm not backing down on the fact that there are some things you're being told that's misinformation. But also, I know there's good and bad perspectives to everything. And yeah, there are certain political figures right now that I just cannot see why anyone would choose to follow them, vote for them, allow them to be doing what they're doing in the world right now. It's so hurtful. It's so awful. And then I get frustrated with myself that I have that feeling of, I won't say hate. Hate's a strong word that I don't really ever want to vibe with. But I heavily dislike. And then I find myself, like, it's like, this is affecting my energy, and it's a mirror for me to see that, like, if I'm capable of disliking someone that much, like, what's that say about me? If I then start calling them names, and I justify them being othered, will everyone else then jump on board? Well, everyone on my side at least jump on board and start calling them names, letting them to feel more empowered in the fact that these others over here, us, are actually the bullies. So you see how there's a vicious cycle there? Like, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for tonight. I did not mean to go on a political rant, so you're welcome. But like, also, again, this is somewhere to invite curiosity. Can we just be curious as to why our loved ones that might be on the other side of the fence, as we like to call it, have chosen that? What's their perspective? And is there any way I can gently, with curiosity, share with them why my perspective is the way it is, instead of making an argument, making it a fight? Is there any way that we could meet in the middle? Agree to disagree, maybe even. But like, if we always are looking for a fight when it comes to these conversations, we're never going to connect and find mutual ground and thus, create a better world because of that. Like, they call it divide and conquer for a reason, like, it's quite the strategy. It really works. Yeah. Anyway, much love. Feel free to sound off in the comments if you want to. I don't, as much as part of me is like, why did I get political tonight? This wasn't what this channel was here for. I think, how can you not? Everything is political. Everything is political. I didn't understand that when I was younger. And it took a really dumb political voting moment from me to really awaken me to the power of our vote. We're lucky that we get to vote and have a say in our democracy. And yes, it's not perfect, but it's a privilege, and we should not take that for granted. Yeah. Okay. Really leaving it there now. Okay. Much love. See you tomorrow.